Oh man, I've got a confession to make. I may have bought another car. It was just so goddamn pretty. Should we go and have a little look at what I've got?
See, we be painting pictures and we be writing scriptures. Right. You know, we was in the heights, OG tried to sell me Cartiers. With my crown, we some kings like a card in solitaire. Sticking to the script, that's what got us here. If you in the way, we stepping down like a barber chair. We was all downstairs, Molly vibes till the smoke was clear. Nephew came in, told him, boy, yo, go upstairs. This ain't for the kids, yeah, cover ears. Had to put in order all of my fears. Now when I step out, I'll be well prepared.
Yo, pop out anywhere, yeah, we was never scared, yeah. We was everywhere, yeah, but you was never there. People love to compare shit, but we just never cared. We just always did our thing. Every year we took the stairs. Back when Dylan ain't have a bed, we will always volunteer. Now we young pioneers, yeah, they see us switching gears. We some future billionaires, reppin' Brooklyn everywhere. So it's R.I.P. to Pop, they know the smoke will never clear. Word.
Still on track, never off the trail.
Always bounce back, yeah, we still prevail.
Got our weight up, now we tip the scale.
Now we way up and we living well.
Back when I was a kid, the Karmann Ghia was one of those cars I'd go past in my village and I had no idea what it was. It was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful machine. And since the age of 11 years old, I've always been in love with these. So about 3 weeks ago, we were down in Wales collecting this absolute beast. And I booked into a hotel, I had a few hours to kill, and I ended up jumping online, going through Facebook Marketplace, and there were actually 3 or 4 Karmann Ghias for sale, which was quite surprising. To be honest, they're kind of unicorns. It's very hard to find them. Anyway, of those 4, this one popped up and it was for sale, a little bit cheaper than the others. It was up for 12 grand, and I called the guy up with the intention of just going around and having a look at it. And you can see how that turned out. When I got to the car, I just absolutely fell in love with the colour and the stance on this thing. It's got a few hidden extras on it, and let's have a little look around and I'll show you what they are. So you might notice pretty much straight away that this car is sitting incredibly low. The suspension isn't broken. Well, actually, it is at the moment, but it is on air ride. So one of the previous owners of this car had fitted this with a suspension kit from a company called Limebug about, I'm going to guesstimate, about 4 or 5 years ago, based on the parts that are actually fitted to the rear of this car. I think it's awesome to have air suspension. It gives you a great ride on the car. However, one thing that we discovered with this straight away was that the previous owners, or the previous owners, had basically completely mangled the suspension on this thing. Not only had they fitted it badly, they cut off structural parts that were needed to make this car safe to drive. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've ordered a couple of new parts for it, which we're waiting for so we can drive this safely. So the car's also sitting on a 4-inch narrowed beam. Now, I can see why they've done it. It does make the car look absolutely awesome, and when it's dropped as low as it can be, you can pretty much still use all of your steering and turning capabilities. However, for me, it does make the ride feel a little bit like you are in a Robin Reliant. One way to counteract that is we're going to put in some spacers on the front wheels just to widen it a little bit, and hopefully that will give us a slightly better ride quality once this car's up and running. A big difference that you'll see between the Karmann Ghia and the 71 Beetle that's parked there just behind it is when they made the Karmann Ghia, this really was the height of what I would call artisan car making. The wings aren't bolted on, they're all part of a single piece of metal that has been bashed into shape, and it just gives you these beautiful untouched lines all over the car. The only problem with not having bolt-on parts like you do on the Beetle is that if you have any sort of accident in these whatsoever, it is an absolute nightmare to get it fixed, because you're going to have to find someone that knows exactly what they're doing or loves using a hell of a lot of filler to fix their crash mistakes. One of the other issues that I discovered with this car since I've had it for the last couple of weeks is that the air ride system is on a manual system rather than managed. And what that means is there are 4 little switches in there, and when you push them up or down, that essentially either lets the air out or it lets the air in. But the system on this car will push to 150 psi, and really for air suspension you don't need to go more than about 80 to 90 for the car system to actually operate. If you go above that, and some joker has cut off structural parts of this car, what happens is you start to bend pieces of metal rather than just raising the car. And that's another issue that we're going to have to rectify, which the old owners screwed up. Now overall the bodywork on this is in pretty good condition. You can see there's some bubbling down on the bottom end here, and there's places like this on the car where they've taken away the paintwork, and I think the reason for that was that they were trying to prevent the rust getting any further. Again, if we look at here on the front, we can see a little bit just here and a couple of little spots there, but overall the car does look absolutely stunning. Right, if we jump onto the business end of the vehicle, the Karmann Ghia is running a 1600 twin carb, and on the couple of occasions that I've had it out, I've been amazed at how much better this performs over the standard 1300 that's in the 71 Beetle over there. This will happily sit on the motorway at 70 miles an hour without even really trying. I haven't really pushed it much past that because, again, that front steering, that narrow beam doesn't really give me the confidence to push this car, whereas the Beetle has a much nicer stance for going at quicker speeds, even though it never really gets there. Now overall this car really isn't too bad. It's developed a misfire, that's something we're going to have a look at. I'm not entirely sure what that's about, but it was a strong engine when I took it out for its test drive, and I'm not overly worried. Biggest issues to complete and fix on this car are going to be that air ride system. We've been very fortunate in the fact that someone gave us a stainless steel exhaust for it. That exhaust was given to us for free because it needed a bit of work, so that's having some welding done. And I hope we can get in this a little bit sooner rather than later, like the GT6, and it doesn't turn into a massive, massive project. So that's my latest confession and car. What do you think? Karmann Ghia, your kind of ride? I personally think this might be my most driven vehicle this summer. I can't pretend I am absolutely in love with its looks. If this is your kind of car and your kind of content, don't forget to hit subscribe and like the video, and I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye guys.